Thomas Clair Binger. Man, I've been all over him. Not that he cares. I only have 200 subscribers. But I enjoy thrashing on him just the same. When I first came across this dude, he didn't really come across as particularly good. I mean, this is no Clarence Darrow here. It wasn't until the Pudgies incident when I started to really second guess his intelligence. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
So we all know what we're talking about. The Pudgies bar incident. Kenosha killing suspect Rittenhouse's bond terms changed after bar visit. Wow, this sounds like a real coup for the prosecution. Man, they put their minds together and they were able to get the bond terms changed on Kyle Rittenhouse. Major victory. This is like D-Day for them. Okay, here we go. A Wisconsin judge has modified the release conditions for Kyle Rittenhouse, the teen charged with killing 2 men amid protests in Kenosha last year. After prosecutors alleged he drank beers, oh no, and was serenaded with the Proud Boys anthem at a bar while out on bail. Yeah, those are horrible things. We have to put a stop to this kind of stuff. And by the way, he was also accused of doing this. Oh, I just did it myself. Now, we got to think about what is the purpose of bail. Bail is designed to make sure that the suspect comes back to court when he's needed. And it's also designed to make sure that he doesn't hurt anybody and contact the family. Drinking beer and being serenaded with a song has nothing to do with any of that. But Binger decided to press forward anyway. Let's read on. An attorney for Rittenhouse did not object to the change in bond conditions after they were proposed in January. And why would he? If I'm Mark Richards, this is a coup. This is what I want. Oh, Kyle doesn't want it. Kyle wants to be able to go out to bars and drink and have fun. But if I'm Mark Richards, I don't want that. I want Kyle banned from bars. I want him banned from drinking. I don't want him out there talking. And who does want him out there talking? Binger. That would play perfectly into Binger's hands. He needs Kyle out there talking about what happened. Maybe if he says something that's inconsistent, Binger can use that in the upcoming trial, but he can't now. Because Kyle can't go to bars anymore. He can't get drunk. The best opportunity that Binger had of finding something that he can use in this upcoming trial was to get Kyle drunk. Hell, if I was Binger, I'd have been sending him gift certificates to Pudgies. You know, like 2 for 1, happy hour all day. If you bring your mom, you get half off on a full bottle of Hennessy, but only if you drink the whole thing here, like they do that big Texan steak in Amarillo. I'd have been doing everything I could to get that boy into bars and drunk as hell. And what does he do instead? He modifies the bail conditions so that Kyle can't. And now, a big worry has been taken off of Mark Richards' shoulders. He was worried about Kyle going out there and saying things. That's what concerns defense attorneys all over the country. They're always worried about their clients mouthing off, saying things that are inconsistent. And now he doesn't have to worry about it as much. Kyle can't go to bars. He can't get drunk. I mean, did you even get any kind of PR out of it? Not really. Social media was going to blow up about Kyle doing this and being serenaded by Proud Boys anyway. Having the bail modified didn't gain anything there. They still would have slammed him. You just baffle me sometimes. I don't get it. Actually, you baffle me all the time. So that was the first time I started thinking, I think if I was Gravely, the district attorney, I'd put somebody else on this case. But it only got worse from there. This is the first of Kyle's bail hearings. Binger does okay here. You can start to see that he's got a little bit of a dishonest streak, but nothing he does here is completely illogical. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Your Honor, the state is going to ask the court to set bond at $2 million. That is the amount that Judge Wagner set on the arrest warrant in this case. I believe that this court should honor that amount. There are numerous very powerful and valid reasons why it is an appropriate amount in this case.
Just as a note, Wagner already set the bail at $2 million, so Binger has an easy job here. The charges are going to be read by Court Commissioner Keating here at face value, and so Mark Richards has very little opportunity here to sort of fight for his client. So Binger holds all the aces here, as all prosecutors do during a bail hearing.
The defendant is charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide as well as other very serious felonies.
All right, so he's already a little bit dishonest here. He says he's facing 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Technically, yes. However, that second one is actually an attempted homicide. It's weird how Wisconsin does this, but I do have a video on it. So Binger is being dishonest here, but he also knows he's not going to fool Commissioner Keating. Keating knows what the charges are.
2 people were killed in this case. These charges are as serious as we get in Wisconsin. There is a certainty that if the defendant is convicted, he will be sent to prison, and a strong likelihood that he will serve most, if not the remainder of his life in prison if he is convicted of these charges.
Binger here is just twisting a knife. If he could have said, and there's a strong possibility that Kyle will be raped every day, he would have said it.
Thus, a substantial amount of cash bail is necessary because someone who's facing these types of charges has the strongest possible incentive not to return to court. I would note that the defendant does not live in Kenosha, does not reside in Wisconsin, and other than a part-time job as a lifeguard, doesn't appear to have any ties to our community.
Okay, Kyle's father lives in Kenosha. Kyle doesn't seem to have a very good relationship with his father. If I was Binger, I would have brought that up. I would have said, despite the fact that Kyle has a father that lives in Kenosha here, there is no evidence whatsoever that they have a relationship such that it would guarantee that Kyle would show up in future court proceedings, because he has to know that Mark Richards is going to bring this up as a counterargument. Why not head him off at the pass?
He resided at one point in Antioch, Illinois. However, it's my understanding that the residence or the address that his family resided at, they no longer reside there.
That's right. Duly noted. At this moment in time, Binger, you knew that Kyle was not at that address.
Perhaps due to some threats or concerns over their safety, but I don't know what their current address is. I think that they are, perhaps for good reason, not sharing that address, but nonetheless, the fact of the matter is, if the defendant's released from custody and joins his family, it will be at some undisclosed location. So that is cause for concern. We extradited the defendant from Illinois over strong objections from the defense.
I don't know how you weakly object to extradition. If they're going to extradite you and you fight extradition, it's going to be a strong objection. How else can you fight it?
There were multiple hearings in Lake County as recently as Friday, in which the defense had filed numerous motions and arguments challenging this case and challenging Wisconsin's right to extradite the defendant.
Right. If they see that there is a legal argument to be made, why would they not file motions? Okay, I get it. If a defendant fights extradition, then perhaps you can use that as evidence to ramp up the bail. But the idea somehow that they were supposed to lay over like lambs is ridiculous. If they're going to fight extradition, I would assume they would use good legal strategies. And you're going to hold that against them? Well, all right.
I take that all to mean that the defendant doesn't want to be here and, if released, won't come back. So I think that that is something the court should consider very seriously.
What defendant wants to be there? I mean, really, what defendant would want to be there?
The defense will suggest that the defendant turned himself in on the night of this incident and therefore is not a flight risk. I would suggest to the court that the circumstances have changed substantially since the defendant did that. At that time, perhaps he had the mindset that he was justified in what he was doing, that the police would hear his explanation, give him a pat on the back, and send him out the door.
No, that's not at all what happened. Kyle threw up in the garbage can. We have video. He's clearly rattled. And this is conjecture. This whole idea somehow that, well, Kyle, perhaps he thought it was no big deal. Based on what? What's your evidence for that?
Clearly, that's not what happened. Clearly, he's facing serious charges in this case. And whatever his misguided or unreasonable expectations were that evening when he turned himself in, do not apply any further.
Now, notice before it was just conjecture, and now he's claiming that it's a reality, that this is factual. That Kyle thought that the police were just going to pat him on the head and send him home. Really?
We are in the midst of a very serious case here. The court, Judge Wagner, has already set $2 million bond. I think that's an appropriate amount, and I would ask that the court honor that. In terms of the non-monetary conditions of bond, we would ask that the court order that the defendant not have possess or have any weapons in his possession. I would also ask that the court order no contact with the following individuals: Gage Brooks Royce, Richard McGinnis, Dominic Black, as well as relatives of the victims in this case, including John Huber, who is here by Zoom, Karen Bloom, who is Anthony Huber's mother, and Charles Rosenbaum, who is a brother of the victim, Joseph Rosenbaum. Thank you.
Notice he didn't say anything about beer. Later, he made a big deal out of it. He even had Kyle's bail modified so that he couldn't drink alcohol anymore. But alcohol didn't seem to bother him here. Why is that?